And a very good morning to y'all. Welcome back to the Brian's Bus Adventure. And this is an adventure today. Working on an old bus, you're going to find out a lot of times you have to go back and check and recheck things that you thought that you had fixed before. Here's a real good example. I've been working on the tail lights, the Michigan lights, the turn signals and stop lights in the back of the bus. And in order to do that, of course, you have to turn the headlights on. And of course, here is one of the headlights turned on. And then I come back and go, whoa, the other headlight is not working. And I have to kind of now go back into everything and try to figure out why it's not working. So here I am, back inside this compartment under the driver's seat, trying to figure out exactly why I don't have juice to that right headlight assembly. And again, as you can see, probably there, I have everything taped up, extremely secure, and I'm just kind of wondering exactly what's going on. So I'm going to take it all back apart and come back and see if I can, at least fix it and get me some more headlights back in the front. And then I'll continue back to the back of the bus and see if I can figure out what's going on there too. I really have kind of figured everything out. I had a bad ground in the back, and so I wasn't getting really any 24 volts to those tail lights. And as soon as I hooked the ground back up, or I should say replace the ground, cut it out completely from where it was, and stuck it in a new location, drilled a hole through the frame of the bus, and took a wire brush and really cleaned it up really well, and then put a new bolt and then a new, of course, new grounding wire onto that, and now they're working great. But now the next process in the back that I have to do is to wire in all of those relays. Every light on this bus is going to end up with a relay on it. I didn't realize how important that was until I started reading about relays and how they really will help protect the wiring up to the lights, or up to the relays anyway, because the light switches will have really no load on them at all. And a lot of times that's what goes out on anything electric, is a switch. So if I can get a real light load from the switch to the relays, that'd be great. It takes about, I think they said, about 0.7 amps to activate a relay. And then the relay will take the voltage that's applied to it and push that over to the tail lights, stop lights, turn signals, headlights, whatever. But anyway, that's what's going to happen. All of that is going to be on relays, including this front end, which I'm going to be working on now. Going to start putting relays in all of the lights. It'll be 4 relays up here. Actually 2 relays, I think. One's going to be for the low beam, and one's going to be for the high beam on this front of the bus here. And again, the Michigan lights will all have relays on them. Turn signals, stop lights, tail lights, emergency flashers, everything will have a relay going to it, a 24 volt, 30 amp relay. So that's good. And that's part of the process of working on this old bus. So let's see. Let's continue on with the Brian's Bus Adventure. Okay, y'all, continuing on with the saga of the headlights on the right-hand side. Again, this is the pigtail that goes into it, and it was fine. But then I started tracing wire outside under that driver's seat in that compartment, and I went, I have juice to that switch. Why am I not getting juice here to the high and the low beams? Well, both, the red and the green. And I got to pulling, I thought, I'll just trace the wire back, and look what I found. Look what I found. Completely cut in half. And that is really a mystery, because there is nothing that has been turned or chased or anything for those wires, and they are just literally cut in half. So I'm going to have to take this panel out, this access panel, to get back behind here to find out where those wires are actually, and find out why these are cut in half. Now this is definitely a mystery for the Brian Bus Adventure. Well, now look what I found when I tore the wiring loom apart. Absolutely, there's been a critter in there somewhere. Just tried chewing through there, but look at, he went through exactly, precisionally, through these 5, 2, 4, 6 wires. Wow. And I've not seen any rat poop. I've not seen any squirrel poop or nothing in here. And I'm trying to look around and see how he might have even gotten in here. I guess those little holes, like, you probably can't see it, it's not focusing. There's a small little hole for a drain over there. But again, I guess I'm just going to have to replace wires and start this process over again. Damn mouse, damn squirrel, dang whatever, but this is life in the Brian Bus Adventure. Okay, we just thought of something here. The reason there may be a mouse or something here, or maybe even a rat, is if you look out behind us, see a big old field back here? The owner of that property, there's about 300 acres back over there, he just mowed that yesterday, day before, and probably everything's moving out there, especially with it being spring and everything wanting to nest to make new babies. But I'm sorry, he may be out of luck because I'm putting 3 traps in there. One bigger one in case it's a bigger, like a rat. Then I'll put a small one over here on this side and a small one on the interior. And here we go with the peanut butter. They cannot resist that. So it's going to be muerto para la ration. Gonna kill these, whatever it is. We cannot have this happening inside the bus. So here we go, mouse traps, peanut butter, and repair wiring on the Brian's Bus Adventure. Yeah, one of the good things I've done a long time ago, I went on Amazon and bought like 100 feet of each of the wires, the different colors, and I got several different colors. But again, what I need over here is red, green, and black. So I went back into my stash and pulled out the red, the green, and the black. And now I've also taken my fish, called a wire fish, pulled it through. And I'm just going to attach the wires to that and pull them back through. And I will have repaired wires again, and I'll have new headlights again. Yeah. Anyway, it's the Brian Bus Adventure. Okay, y'all, let's continue on with this saga. This is the fish that I've ran through. It's called a wire fish, where you can run wire down a wall or whatever, or through a hole, and that's what I've done here. Back through the original hole in the front end of the bus there for that wiring. Came together, spliced all new wiring into the old and existing wiring harness. And let's see if you can find that. There we go. It goes back up here and back up to the connector. I didn't want to put all new wiring in it because it was just, I thought it would be kind of a waste of about 6 or 8 feet of wire of red, green, and black. So I just spliced it back in, spliced about a foot of each wire back in. And now I'm going to take that fish, push it back through everything. Well, I'll have to get on the inside and push it back through, and I'll show you that when I get inside. Okay, we're inside the bus now, and here is the fish right here that I pushed in from the outside. Now I'm just going to slowly pull it through, hoping it'll go through all of the little holes that are back there. You can see that one back there. It should go through that one really easily. I'll just twist it and bring it through a little bit. It's not wanting to, so I'll get my hand up in there, get it going. And I'm going to turn this off. I'll be right back. Okay, now what I've done here on this, as you can see, this is the end of the fish here. And I hooked it into one of the wires on the inside of this, and the green one, and just sent it through that little hole in the tip of it, and then wired, or I shouldn't say wired, but taped the whole thing together up to this fish. And then I was able to pull it back through. And as you can see, it finally did come through the hole. So that's where it's going to stay. But again, right down there, you can see where all the rat ate right below that, where the rat ate all the wire in half. But again, that's going to be gone. And the rat's going to be gone because I'm going to put a trap there. I'm going to put a trap outside, or 2 of them outside actually, to see if the big rat or the little rat. But the rat now has, and these are the wires from the old relays, the turn signal relays. And they did a pretty good job here. They wired a modern relay in there for the turn signals and the hazard lights, which is nice. We'd love to have had the stock system in there, but you know, I think it's probably old and worn out and dead. But anyway, that's what I'm doing now. But the rat causing me about 2.5 hours worth of wiring that I should not have had to have done, but I did. And this is the Brian's Bus Adventure. Okay, here we're back again. As you can see, I've stripped all the wires out on that end and also on the receiving end over here. And I'm going to do these a little bit different. I'm not going to put butt connectors on these. I'm going to go ahead and put these clamps, what do you call these things? Lever nuts, I guess they call them. Lever nut kit. I'm going to put these on her because I do have accessibility to this panel. And if anything goes wrong again, I can just open up these 2 doors. This door here, here, and then of course that door in front of that heater. Heater's probably going to come out. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to go ahead and tackle that system, but anyway, that might come out a little later. Anyway, this is what we're doing. I'm going to get these wired headlights back together again and make sure I have headlights again. Again, a couple hours. Thank you to Mr. Rat. And again, this should be done very quickly because these are very easy to put in and they really stay secure. Okay, we're kind of done on this part down here now. And a lot of you are probably going to say, wow, what a rat's nest you have created with all of these little butt connectors. But no, I like them a lot better than the crimping. They are self-crimping. They work, they last a long time, and a good friend of mine works for, actually it's my son-in-law, he works for the elevator union, and they use these on elevators, saying that they are the absolute best. Or maybe not the best, but they're really like the application of these this type of connector for electrical wire. So that's it. This entire area will be full of insulation here before too long. This entire area, so it's going to be very, very, very secure. What is this wire? What's this one? Okay, that's the wire for the for the step light, and that'll come in a little bit later. Oh, I should put that into the headlights. No, I don't want them in headlights. Anyway, that is the part that's done. I'm going to check to see now if we have headlights. And now, lo and behold, headlight right side, and lo and behold, headlights on the left side. So this journey is almost done. It's almost fixed. And if you're wondering why I don't have two headlights on the right side, it's really kind of frustrating. But I have to get in and replace all of the adjusters. You can see that one there's just kind of limpy around. I've got to get in and replace those adjusters and the springs and whatnot, which I have brand new sitting there. But this nut, or this screw right here, is completely blocked off. It's a capture nut on the back side, and the capture nut just turns. So what I have to do, and I cannot get into it from the inside, it's into a little cavity in there, and that's why it's a capture nut. So I'm going to have to drill that out and pull this entire headlight assembly bucket out before I can get into that backside on that one. It's just something I'm not looking forward to doing. I mean, it's not going to be a big thing, but it's just something that it gets done tomorrow, if you know what I mean. Okay, now I'm going to get back to the part that I love the most. Going to get rid of the rats that cause this damage in here. Okay. The rat trap or mouse trap's been set on the inside, so again, I don't know if it was a mouse or a rat. The wiring has all been repaired, and now I'm just going to sit back and see what happens. Do we get another little mouse in here? Let's see if we can get focus. Focus. I don't know what it's trying to do. Anyway, that's what we're going to do now. We're going to hang it up and see if it works. And this is the Brian's Bus Adventure. Thank you. Well, y'all have everything buttoned back up pretty much here on the front end of the bus, but again, this is the end of this part of the saga here for the Brian's Bus Adventure. We're going to find out if this mouse likes creamy style peanut butter or if this mouse will prefer the chunky style. But anyway, let's see what happens. And this is the, I hope, the final saga of the front headlights. Where'd they go? Who ate them? On the Brian's Bus Adventure. Okay, y'all, since I was on electricity, the headlights, etc. anyway today, I thought I'd go ahead and take this bucket out. I cannot replace these. As you can see, they're captured and they're behind this dang thing here. And I can't get them out unless, I thought I could get them out by taking that in screw out there. And I did drill that out and take it out. But still, this thing's not loose at all. So what I've discovered by looking in here, there's a bunch of little screws in here that are completely rusted out, etc. So I have to take those out, and I've taken that one out, and that one out, that one out, and that one out. Oops, there we go. That one, and that one out. And now I have to take the headlight assembly out itself, and then come back in and get the ones out behind it. Now, as you can see, this one here, and this one up in this corner are, down in this corner, are completely gone. Completely rusted out. So I'm just taking them all out, and then I'll drill them back out, and they do not go through to the other side. So there's a capture plate somewhere behind this, a capture plate that these screws are screwed into, and I'll just have to go back in when I'm done and clean those screw holes out and make it work again. Okay, y'all, got the headlight bucket out, and again, these are the screws I was mentioning there. They're all going to have to be, I don't know, heated up, or they're going to have to be lubricated up a lot in order to get them out. But you can see where somebody has gone in there and rearranged the bucket, so to speak, So those new headlight buckets would fit, and that's fine with me. And they're just completely rusted up. So what I'm going to do is take my trusty little drill with this on it, clean it all up, and I'm going to put some of that goo on there that eats the rust away, and then reassemble the whole thing. Not going to do that today, but it will be done in the very near future, probably tomorrow. Anyway, this is the Brian's Bus Adventure. Well, okay, y'all, not quite done for the day, but I thought I would go ahead and treat this rust. I have something that's called, oh, let's see what the heck it is called. It's called Rust-Oleum Rust Dissolver Gel Formula. And what you do is you put it on and you let it set. You wipe it all down with water first. You get it completely wet. And then you come back and spray this gel on it, and it will dissolve the rust and then make it ready to paint. And if you remember looking at just like 30 seconds ago, you'll see that this was completely rusted, completely. Over here, nothing but rust. And look what it's doing. It is slowly dissolving the rust. And look, oh, it's starting to dry. I gotta get it off before it dries, it says. And then it's turning that back white, that natural color that it was before the rust, I guess. But anyway, I'm gonna get a hose out. It says wash it off after about 30 minutes. And then if you need to do it again, apply a second coat and just go for it again. So that's what we're up to. Okay, y'all, it's the next day. I'm still working on the headlight buckets and the trim and everything else. Okay, I got the headlight base out, and these are the headlight hold downs here, and they actually do the adjusting for the left, right, up, and down. And these two aren't bad. I'd like to replace, well, I guess those two are still pretty good. But this one over here is gone, and that's the reason I had to take the entire thing out. And this one here is broken on one side. But what I found, these come up from the bottom up through that hole right there. And what I have found is this one, the new style, is a little bit wider than the old style. So what I have to do is take a Dremel and ease this hole out just a little bit so that this one here will fit. And they come up from this side up, I believe, and then that little bracket just will fold in and hold it in place from the back. So I have to do this very, very gently. I hope I don't screw it up, because I have no idea where I would get another bucket like this. Anyway, I'm going to try it today, and this is the Brian's Bus Adventure. Okay, got the Dremel out. The good old Dremel. I think this is, yeah, it is. It's a 4300, a very nice Dremel. And I'm going to try this one here. It's kind of like a router bit. I'll try to get into here and just barely route this out just a little bit at a time until I can get this just to slip in and not slip in too far, if that makes any sense. It's just a real fine adjustment that's going to have to be made to get that to fit into this hole right here and stay there and not mess it up. Wish me luck, y'all. Thanks. Okay, after cutting the hole larger where it would actually fit this, you can discover that this is just absolutely the wrong one. These prongs here will not fold in far enough to allow this lip right here to fit inside and lock. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go out and do some research and find the ones that are like this. They're actually made for this bucket. And that may be a challenge. Don't know where to look even. But again, I need to find at least one more like this. As you can see, this one here, the tabs have been broken off of it already, but it is stable. It'll hold. But okay. Just gonna keep looking, and keep looking. I'll go ahead and reinstall everything and put the bucket back in with one for right now, just so I can get it weather tight, because it's gonna start raining here again. And I think I'll paint this. You can't even see this, but I think I might paint it silver this time. It was painted silver before, as you can see. Don't think that makes any difference at all, but I'd just like to paint it and make it look just a little bit crisper, I guess is the way to look at it before I reinstall it. Put a little bit of butyl tape under this edge, seal that up real good. And then once it's in there, see how many holes are left. And then assuming this would be for water to drain out here, that hole back in the back there on both sides. And well, you're never going to get it watertight, I see now, because the springs actually have holes that will hold the tension on the headlights after you've adjusted them. Anyway, that's what we're doing, and I hope you enjoy it. And this is, again, just another experiment on what to do on the Brian's Bus Adventure. Oh, I thought I'd just show you why it doesn't work. The thickness of this right here, the actual entire case, is too thick for this to collapse in two and then bite. So again, let's see if I can get this out for you. See if I can make it work so you can see it. When this is actually collapsed down, there's not enough space in there between this and this for it to clamp onto. So obviously this was made for a metal bucket, or this thick plastic bucket is just not going to work with the same thing. And I've taken it down quite a bit, but I'm not going to take it down anymore. I'm just going to go find the correct holder for this. And I've not taken it down far enough where it would be not allowing one of these to fit either. So I'm still good. Just did a little bit at a time on the bucket. And again, that's what I need to do before I put that headlight in. Now this is basically how it's going to look when it's done. Of course, that will be up flush, and this will be the way the headlight will fit in there. And it took me a long time yesterday, after I'd painted it, of course. It had 8 screws that I had to drill out. And here, and here somewhere. And the same right there. And then the same thing on the top. I had to drill all those out. Then put the Rust-Oleum Rust-Away, whatever you want to call it, on there, and then I painted it. But after I painted it, I forgot to take the screws out. So it probably took me a couple of hours to get those screws out because they just really were rusted in there. But I finally did get them out. And again, that's how this bucket will adhere to that. So with those screw holes, they're right there. Well, if you can see them, they're there. Anyway, they're in there somewhere. And that's what's going to happen next. After I find the piece for the adjuster, I will apply that back on, put the outside discussion back on, put the other headlights back on, clean everything back up. Because we're actually getting to the point where it's time to start cleaning the bus up on the exterior. I'm out here on the outside, and I've got my scaffolding halfway up here, but as you may be able to see, there's some gray primer going on. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the paint, the old dilapidated paint, off the side right here, and then I'll have to take there's 4 of these little square panels here that somebody put in when they did the bus, and all of the caulking is coming out of that. So I have to find the fasteners for that. They're rivets, but they're special rivets. They're 1/2 inch and 3/8 rivets, which you can't get at auto parts stores. And I found a place out in Texas where I can get them. And actually, it's the place where this guy originally ordered them from. The receipt was still in the bus for those. So I called up. I'm going to need about $100 worth of rivets to go back in, take all those apart. There's, again, one way down there. I don't know if you can see it or not. But again, the same thing on both sides. And I'll be pulling those back off, re-caulking them, straightening them back out, and then re-riveting those also. And then next, as you can see partway down, I'm going to be sanding on the side of the bus, down as far as the green line, well, past the green line, and all that will be coming off. The paint will be coming off, and we'll be doing the paint job with the, well, kind of like a bed liner, a truck bed liner, but it's a little bit finer than that. The texture is on it. And that will do a couple of things. After we've resealed all of the seams, that will also help with the addition of that material on it to really reinforce that seam sealing product that we're putting on there. Again, just a couple, 300 hours worth of prep, then we can start painting, among all the other things that I've done and am about to do. Again, this is the Brian's Bus Adventure. We want to say thanks to everybody out there that is watching this, and if you could please like it and subscribe it would really help us with the algorithms here on YouTube, and that might help us to be able to go a little bit quicker with the I hate to say it, but with the purchase of the additional things that we have to put onto the bus. The actual paint for the bus is over $700 just for the paint, and that's just for this stripe right here. So you can see just things add up, but we really appreciate y'all watching, liking, subscribing, and sharing. Y'all have a good day. This is the Brian's Bus Adventure.